Hi guys, so this is just a super fast video to talk about the 5-point checklist to make sure that any nutrition plan that you're following is successful. So you really want to make sure it incorporates all 5 of these things, and you'll find if you're missing 1 or 2 of them that it's just more of a struggle to stick with it and for it to have effectiveness as well. So in no particular order, these are the 5 things. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is intermittent fasting. And what I want to say about that is there are so many different ways that you can use intermittent fasting to benefit your health. You just go do some Googling, but what's really essential is that you find the way, play around with it and find the way of fasting that is most effective for you and gets you the results that you want to. But really do go Google, and just there's the benefits are not only about losing fat, but there's, more energy. It's so good for our brain, slows the aging process. It's really exciting when you start to learn about how good it is for you. Okay, the next one is protein pacing. So typically in the Western world, we don't eat a lot of protein through the day and have a great big chunk of something at nighttime. Now, the problem with that is our body really can only absorb and utilize 20 to 40 grams of protein at a time. So if we're eating like 200 at once, then it still can only use 20 to 40 grams of that, and the rest is kind of, where it ends up. So if we can split our protein through and have more protein, or smaller amounts but more often through the day, it's going to be so much better for our ability to uptake and utilize that protein. And protein is so important because our cells, so much of the structure of our cells is protein. Okay, the next one is nutrient density. So what I mean by that is, are you getting nutritional bang for your buck? So when we eat a calorie, we want to make sure it's not empty and devoid of nutrition. We want to be jamming as much nutrition into every calorie that we consume as possible. Now, the reason that this is so important is typically what happens when people go on a diet, they restrict calories. And what they do when they restrict calories is they also restrict nutrition. And then it's just going to be a matter of time before our brain is saying, wait a minute, I don't have, you haven't given me enough vitamin this or vitamin that or mineral that. And it sends us in search of food. And that's why we hear of people jumping on and off diets all the time, and they just can't stick to it. So if you want an eating plan that you can stick to over the long term so that you can maintain your results and stay the healthiest version of yourself with ease, you really need to be thinking about nutrient density and making sure you're getting those nutrients, not starving yourself of those nutrients. Okay, next we have adaptogens. And these are something that I didn't even know about 10 years ago. But adaptogens are these incredible, powerful, potent botanicals that have all sorts of weird and wonderful names and are becoming more well-known and accepted now than they were 10 years ago. So nearly all of the isogenics products have adaptogens added to them, and you can get them in other places. Like even if you go to Boost Juice, you'll see you can add like maca powder and whatever, green tea extract and all these little extras. So adaptogens are out there and they are really valuable. They help our body become better at managing stress. And, in today's day and age, people are stressed. And that then affects our cortisol levels, which then affects our other hormones, and it all kind of gets a bit crazy. So we really want to be making sure we're getting adaptogens into our body every single day. And the last thing, which I absolutely didn't understand until about 8 years ago when I started with this program, is convenience. And the reason I know this is so important is because for 30 years, as far as I know, probably longer, the health and fitness industry, we've been telling people if they want to improve their health, they need to eat cleaner, eat more whole foods, eat more organic, and move more, so exercise more. But that advice is failing. And we know it's failing because the statistics of overweight, unhappy, and unwell people are increasing. So if we're succeeding, we'd be shifting those stats, right? And one of the reasons is humans are so busy and they don't have time to spend all day Sunday meal prepping, and they don't have time to even gather the knowledge. And there's so much information out there. It's just so confusing. By the time they go buy all the bits and pieces and then have to figure out how to put it together in a meal and then do that consistently, it becomes too much. And what do people do when they feel overwhelmed or confused? They do nothing. So what Isagenix does is it delivers it all done for us in a super fast, convenient form, so we can just grab it and use it. And that's what makes the program so easy to stay on long term. So that's really the 5 things. You don't have to do it through Isagenix, but Isagenix does tick all 5 boxes. And just know that if you want to choose an effective nutrition plan long term, if you're not going to tick all those 5 boxes, you're probably going to find that you struggle at some point.